Newscast, there's a new sign on the People's United Center. But is it here to stay?
Fresh Check Day took place yesterday on the Bobcat Way lawn. We took a look at how students could engage in dialogue about mental health and learn about on-campus resources.
And Relay for Life was a big hit on campus this past Saturday. Find out how much money was raised for the American Cancer Society.
All this and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Live from the Student Center Piazza, this is the Q30 Newscast.
Good evening and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. Live from the Carl Hansen Student Center, I'm Jonathan Banks.
And I'm Joel Vanner. We start off this week with news that former president of Quinnipiac, John Leahy, has chosen his final resting place. Leahy purchased a mausoleum at St. Mary's Cemetery located on Whitney Avenue. The mausoleum features the last name Leahy and has 2 crosses on each side of the door. The structure is still under construction. And tonight we take a look at Quinnipiac's Student in Residence program at Masonic Air in Wallingford and how Quinnipiac students, faculty, and staff can explore teaching options for the elderly residents. Our own Callie Keys is live and has more details.
Thanks, guys. I'm here live at Masonic Air in Wallingford, where there is a program that Quinnipiac offers that many students may not be aware of. Let's take a look. One Quinnipiac student is living in a different kind of off-campus housing. Kathleen Dacey, second-year law student, is living in an assisted living facility.
It's different, but it's very warm and welcoming. One of the residents said, it's like I inherited a ton of grandparents.
Moving in only 1 month ago, Dacey felt the welcome atmosphere the first day, as her door was decorated with countless welcome notes.
People kind of went out of their way to welcome me. There was a few days when I opened my door and there was little news clippings under my door that they'd cut out of the newspaper for me. They always want me to sit with them at supper or lunch. They don't want me to be alone. And they're always concerned that they're bothering me rather than me being like noisy and coming in after night class.
This is a part of the Quinnipiac Masonic Air Student in Residence program that offers direct experience in working with seniors. The program has run for 3 years, and it all started with one question.
Would anybody here be interested in living in a community with older adults for a year? And one person raised their hand, and then another, and then another. And out of a class of about 50, there were about 5 to 6. And so I said, you know what? We've got a lot more students than just those that are in this class. So I think that this might work.
And it did work, as Dacey is Quinnipiac's 5th student in residence. If you're interested in the Student in Residence program here at Masonic Air, all majors are welcome to apply, but there is one requirement. You must have a skill that you can share with the seniors. Students are not the only ones with opportunities here, as this coming spring, faculty and staff have the options to teach courses. At Masonic Air in Wallingford, for Q30 News, Callie Keys.
Today was National Coffee with a Cop Day. The mission of this event is to break down the barriers between police officers and the citizens in their community. Most of these events around the country take place in casual atmospheres, and that was the case in Handin, as the Handin police set up shop at Whitney Donut, where they had donuts and chatted with some townspeople. Public safety also took part in the event and was available in the Student Center today on campus to answer any questions, and they also enjoyed coffee with Quinnipiac students.
Adjunct Professor of Art Noelle King spent most of the past summer in Jousta, Finland in residency. Her work has been on display since September. King's painting with the clouds was inspired after she arrived in Finland, couldn't sleep, and decided to paint the sky. King said that, quote, at her location in the summer, the sun doesn't really set. It just hovers around the horizon until dawn. Quinnipiac University posted an announcement to MyQ last week providing information on available counseling services for those who are having difficulties coping with the topics being discussed during the confirmation hearings of Brett Kavanaugh, a candidate for the Supreme Court of the United States. The announcement advised any affected students to contact counseling at qu.edu or call 203-502-8680.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And on campus organizations like the Quinnipiac Student Nurses Association and local lip sync icons like the Handin Police are looking to show off their pink. Olivia Schuler has more on the places you can find in town.
Quinnipiac University and the Handin area are bringing awareness to breast cancer in the month of October. Nancy Giuliano created the idea of painting the town in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Certain Handin roadways have a pink ribbon stamped onto the pavement.
What we're doing here at the police department is we actually wrapped 2 different cars in a pink color that'll probably stay on the car for definitely the month of October, if not longer, to raise awareness for breast cancer.
Hamden Police Department is waiting approval from the police chief on whether or not the police cruisers can be kept pink the entire year. People around the community have taken notice of the pink ribbon imprint across town.
You know, people in the town really see them, and it's become a great community outreach tool for us as well.
The Quinnipiac Student Nurse Association hosted the event Pink Hair for Hope on campus to raise money for the American Cancer Society in support of breast cancer.
This is actually the 8th year that we are doing the Pink Hair for Hope fundraiser. We started a couple years back. Victoria, the lady that runs it, she has a family history of breast cancer, and she wanted to kind of give her part to the community. We found that this is something that's really important to the Student Nurse Association because a big part of being a nurse is health promotion.
The point of this event is to raise awareness across campus.
So this fundraiser is really important to us, mostly not just to raise money, but to raise awareness. It is, a health promotion thing. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and to really teach people, especially the Quinnipiac community, about breast cancer health, how to do self-exams and things like that.
Justin Ragazzino urges everyone to take part in self-checks and visit the doctor regularly. Olivia Schuler, Q30 News.
If you went to any of the 2 women's ice hockey games this weekend against Ohio State, you might have noticed a new sign gracing the top of the York Hill Athletic Complex. After changing sponsorships, Quinnipiac is now partnered with the People's United Bank, but the sign on the complex just reads Quinnipiac. Q30 News reached out to the executive director of the People's United Center, Eric Gerchich, who said, quote, "There are plans to put the People's United Center on the marquee Quinnipiac. That was an addition this year. The letters are being fabricated, and the plan is for this to be completely finished by the month's end."
Game design and development students showcased their new game, Beat 'em, at the Boston Festival of Independent Games at MIT last Saturday. Q30 News caught up with one of the students, Sean Urban, who shared why they attended the festival.
So we have been applying the game in other festivals and events like that to demo our game to the public, and I guess it's just all about getting out there for people to see.
The festival is aimed to foster the next generation of game developers, and the students were able to go thanks to the generosity of the Office of the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and the Game Design and Development Program.
Q-Thon has been tabling throughout the week in an effort to raise as much money as they can before March 23rd. This past Monday was Child Health Day. To celebrate, the Q-Thon staff was outside the Student Center selling sunflowers and getting pied in the face for a small donation. On Child Health Day, $10,040 were raised. Also, this week was Marketing Week here at Quinnipiac. The first 2 days were Tuesday and Thursday, in which guest speakers had resume workshops where students were able to learn how to use digital marketing to their advantage. When working with clients in the years to come after graduation, that will help. Marketing will continue through tomorrow night, where 3 guest speakers will be in the Student Center, room 120. Victoria Raitano, founder and CEO of Sixboard Social, will talk from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Thomas Fenlon, associate strategist at Mindshare, will talk from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And Lindsay Banks, no relation here, an associate customer development manager at Unilever, will talk from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The week is sponsored by the Quinnipiac chapter of the American Marketing Association. And Friday is also International Platter Day, which is a holiday created to celebrate the love of the pattern plaid, which Bobcat Nation will definitely be celebrating, especially Boomer the Bobcat, who will be on the hunt at each campus. He'll be randomly rewarding students, faculty, and staff who are wearing Quinnipiac plaid and other QU branded gear. People can also win prizes by sharing photos of their Quinnipiac plaid and QU branded apparel on Instagram and Twitter. By doing this, you tag the official Quinnipiac accounts.
This weekend is Alumni Weekend, which means there is a whole host of events geared towards strengthening the university alumni bond. Here are a few events this weekend. The weekend begins on Friday with an Alumni Golf Championship beginning at 10 a.m. at the New Haven Country Club. The Golden Bobcats, are those alumni who graduated 50 years ago or more, will get the chance to be celebrated and welcome new President Judy Olean. Then on Saturday from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., alumni can attend an Introduction to Mindfulness session, where they learn to apply mindfulness techniques to transform the stress of modern life into well-being. And then in the late afternoon, it's all on York Hill with a tailgate party starting at 3 p.m. and a pregame pep rally starting at 4:30 p.m., ending with the Quinnipiac versus Prince Edward Island men's ice hockey game at 7 p.m.
It may be October right now, but the temperatures today did not quite line up with this season.
Luca Trion is standing by with a preview of the weather to come for this weekend. Luca, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, we are seeing some weird temperatures in this October season compared to previous years where it's actually been much colder. The weekend will actually start out really cool, but it will go a bit hotter. However, we will see more of that and some more news right after this commercial break.
Tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Handin, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Q-Cash is accepted.
Now that's a sandwich.
Do you like debate?
That's a converted relief pitcher making the start because it was a doubleheader. You got no hit by a relief pitcher. You can't tell me that's not embarrassing.
Analysis.
You can see his stance, his positioning right there is excellent.
And a side of entertainment.
Is he right or is he crazy?
Well, we all know the answer to that. He's a bit crazy, but I gotta say, you know.
Then join us on Bobcat Breakdown.
From the court to the ice to here on the diamond, we'll discuss everything you need to know about Quinnipiac athletics.
Bobcat Breakdown, Tuesdays at 9:30.
From Handin to Hollywood, we are your source for entertainment news.
Whether you're on the quad, in your room, or off campus, tune in to Q30 News for stories from student journalists you can trust.
We're covering the latest here on campus and in the surrounding communities.
Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Welcome back into the Q30 Newscast. Many students attended Fresh Check Day yesterday. Fresh Check Day is a national program that helps to make people aware of various mental health issues and suicide prevention. UAM has more on the 4th annual Fresh Check Day on campus.
Suicide Prevention Week had been happening at the end of September. Quinnipiac joined other colleges to raise awareness on Tuesday. Fresh Check Day is a national program to promote awareness on mental health issues and suicide prevention. Quinnipiac brought the program on Bobcat Way lawn with the goal to teach students about this issue.
The goal is to decrease the stigma of mental health, which I think is really, these type of events really help that.
I have depression, so I understand what it means to go through difficulties with your mental health.
This is the 4th time the school has organized the event with the help of the school's counselors, staff, and students' organizations.
It's really important for college students to understand they're not alone in mental illness. It's actually a lot more common than they think it is.
There were information booths that uplift students with resources. They could join in for meditation, a conversation on body image, sexual violence, suicide prevention, and more. To some Bobcats who attended, this event made them feel included.
I feel less alone. I feel important. I feel loved and cared for.
Quinnipiac will continue to spread the message on mental health issues and suicide prevention. Fresh Check Day will come back to campus next fall.
We're going to continue to improve on what else the students are looking for too.
From Quinnipiac University, I am Nyungan, Q30 News.
Students gathered Monday night in the Mount Carmel Auditorium as the Quinnipiac Psychology Department showed a movie to prevent suicide awareness. The movie, Suicide, The Ripple Effect, chronicles the journey of Kevin Hines. At the age of 19, Hines made an attempt to take his own life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Since that moment, Hines has found meaning in his life and works now as a mental health advocate. He has vowed to continue to use his experience to help others heal and find peace with themselves. The movie was released on February 23rd of this year and is classified as a global mission to help reduce the number of suicides.
Dr. Griselda Rodriguez spoke in the Mount Carmel Auditorium last night as part of the Department of Cultural and Global Engagement's Latinx Heritage Month. Rodriguez spoke about her work with Playing Into the Sun, a photojournalistic project that highlighted Afro-Dominicans in the United States and explored anti-blackness and black identity within Dominican culture. The nation has a major blood shortage, was the headline of an ABC Web article a little less than a month ago. Red Cross President Dr. Bernadine Healy said, quote, "This is one of the worst ones that the Red Cross has ever seen," end quote. Students got the chance to alleviate the shortage today on the North Haven campus from 11:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Today on the Bobcat lawn, the fraternity Alpha Epsilon Pi held their annual philanthropy event from noon until 6 p.m. Pie-a-Pie, where students could pay money to pie themselves or someone else in the face with shaving cream. All proceeds from the event will go to the Repair the World Foundation. Relay for Life, a countrywide event to raise both money and awareness for the American Cancer Society, took place at Quinnipiac on Saturday. The event, which lasted from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., the kickoff barbecue took place almost a month ago, Wednesday, September 5th, with lots of t-shirt tabling in the Student Center in between. The weekend kicked off with a Relay for Life ice cream social in the Upper Calf on Friday night before the main event on Saturday. After it was all said and done, and it did take a long time with lots of preparation, $25,424.82 were raised.
2 public service departments in our local government are experiencing leadership change.
And the walk around town might become more pleasant.
Cassidy Berger has the latest in her local news report. Cassidy?
Thanks, guys. Hamden's fire and police departments are about to see some new changes as both chiefs are leaving their positions. Hamden Fire Chief David Baradeska is retiring after 39 years as a firefighter. And after 12 years of service, Hamden Police Chief Thomas Wydra is starting a new job as Director of the Wage and Workplace Standards Division at the Connecticut Department of Labor. Hamden Mayor Kurt Lang is tasked with filling both positions, but has yet to appoint a new chief for either department. Hamden Police Deputy Chief John Capiello will start as the town's acting chief of police this Friday, and Baradeska will stay on until the 12th. Hamden residents may notice increasing construction on the sidewalks throughout town. This comes after a $250,000 local capital improvement program grant the town of Hamden received earlier this month. Mayor Kurt Lang said in a statement, quote, "Utilizing grant funds for these investments allows us to borrow less and to spend less direct tax dollars. A true win-win situation for our community," end quote. This past Saturday, a 40-year-old woman assaulted a 16-year-old Hamden resident on a Connecticut transit bus. The teen told police that the woman first verbally attacked her and then threw a soda can at her. Things escalated when the woman began punching her. This is the woman police are looking for. Take a look. Anyone with information is asked to contact Officer Justin Tipple at 203-230-4030. That's all I have for this week's local report. Jonathan, back to you.
Well, Jonathan, the fall temperatures provide the perfect weather for those sidewalk upgrades, but still the temperatures are not in the typical October range. We have the full weather report coming up.
Lots going on in the national political world, including a trade deal between Mexico, Canada, and the United States. Stay tuned for the national report.
If you like debate,
that's a converted relief pitcher making the start because it was a doubleheader. You got no hit by a relief pitcher. You can't tell me that's not embarrassing.
analysis,
You can see his stance, his positioning right there is excellent.
and a side of entertainment.
Is he right or is he crazy?
Well, we all know the answer to that. He's a bit crazy, but I gotta say, you know.
Then join us on Bobcat Breakdown.
From the court to the ice to here on the diamond, we'll discuss everything you need to know about Quinnipiac athletics.
Bobcat Breakdown, Tuesdays at 9:30.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Handin. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
Whether you're on the quad in your room or off campus, tune in to Q30 News for stories from student journalists you can trust. We're covering the latest here on campus and in the surrounding communities. Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
From Handin to Hollywood, we are your source for entertainment news.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Now, Joel, temperatures across the state are cooler tonight, hovering around the mid to low 60s.
Tomorrow seems like another day in the high 70s, though not quite the typical fall weather. Luca Triant has more. And we'll be back to Luca in just a moment. If you got an emergency alert on your phone earlier this afternoon, you're not alone.
The United States, Mexico, and Canada are also not alone, as they've reached a trade agreement meant to replace NAFTA.
Sarah Russell has that and more in the National Report.
Thanks, Joel and Jonathan. The FBI continues to look into the background of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh after allegations of sexual assault. Last Thursday, the Senate Judiciary Committee questioned Kavanaugh and accuser Christine Blasey Ford about the alleged sexual harassment that took place while both were in high school. The investigation has reopened the discussion of sexual harassment in America with the hashtag #WhyIDidn'tReport spreading across social media. This comes after Dr. Blasey Ford was questioned about why she didn't report the assault when it happened. Survivors began using the hashtag as a form of support for Dr. Blasey Ford and to share why it is so difficult to report sexual harassment and assault. President Trump ordered the FBI investigation on Friday after Senator Jeff Flake, who is a swing vote for the nomination of Kavanaugh, said he wanted one before committing on his vote. The FBI is expected to finish their investigation into the Kavanaugh allegations by Friday. This afternoon at 2:18, cell phones across the country sounded off as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, tested its wireless emergency alerts. The test is similar to the emergency alerts that play on television or the radio. The cell phone test had a header that said Presidential Alert and read, quote, "This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed," end quote. Adding a cell phone alert along with the television and radio alerts is part of FEMA's plan to make sure everyone is properly warned about emergencies. This was the first test of the system that warns Americans of missing children, impending weather, and will give the president the ability to reach everyone in case of a national emergency. The United States, Canada, and Mexico have come to a new trade agreement after 14 months of negotiations. The deal, called the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, will replace the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, a deal that Trump has called in the past the worst trade deal ever made. Trump says the deal will create better work for farmers who will be able to export wheat, eggs, dairy, and poultry across both borders easier.
Trump also says the deal will create more jobs in the U.S. and stem economic growth. However, the deal still needs to be approved by Congress. That's all I have for this week's national news update. Joel, Jonathan, back to you.
Thank you, Sarah Russell. Informative as always. And now we have Luca Triant standing by with your weather report. Luca?
Sorry, guys, for some technical difficulties we've been having with the mic. However, I am back to give you the weather report. We're starting out with this 7-day forecast, and we're only going to stick here for now. But the weekend is looking pretty good. On Saturday, we are starting out with a low of 64. However, as Sunday comes around, it's going to be the hottest for this week, with a high of 76, going down to a low of 61. Starting off classes on Monday, we're going to have some partly cloudy skies, which is actually going to move across the week up until Thursday, with some, mild, low 70 temps, kind of breezing across the week. However, on Thursday, we actually are seeing rain. So if you have a rain jacket or a raincoat or an umbrella, make sure to bring that to your classes because we will be seeing some rain there. On Friday, we will be dipping down to a low of 60 to a high of 67, which is cooler than what we would be seeing during the week. However, it should be stabilizing after that as the fall gets into swing. These summer temperatures are going to go away, however, so relish in the 70s while we still can. Anyways, Joe and John, I'm going to bring it back to you guys. It's been awesome doing this for this time. Back to you guys at the desk.
Back, we'll have an update on the Quinnipiac Bobcats.
And it's someone's birthday this week besides mine, which is Saturday. We'll tell you who needs balloons and a cake when we come back.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Handin. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
Tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich.
Both men's and women's soccer were in action today. The men's away, women's home. Brian Schwartz will have your update on that.
And the ECAC hockey is coming to the ESPN app. Brian Schwartz is here to tell us all the details. Brian?
All right, thanks, guys. Busy week in Quinnipiac sports. We're going to start off. Quinnipiac women's ice hockey opened up with a weekend series against number 7 Ohio State. They got swept in that series. Both games, Ohio State won 3-2. Now, today, Quinnipiac women's soccer and men's soccer faced St. Peter's, both against St. Peter's. So let's check out the scores for that one. Quinnipiac defeated St. Peter's on the men's side 3-2. They move on to 2-0 in the MAC. Women's side, St. Peter's defeated Quinnipiac 1-0. Their record's now 6-5-1, 3-1-1 in the MAC. St. Peter's scored in the 65th minute. Alexandria Couto scored the game winner. Peacocks win 1-0 there. First MAC loss of the season for Quinnipiac women's soccer. ECAC hockey at ESPN announced a multi-year deal to showcase men's and women's hockey. The $4.99 monthly cost includes all ECAC games, MLB, NHL, MLS games, and other ESPN programming. ESPN Plus is available on the ESPN app, App Store, and Google Play. Guys, before I send it back to you, men's hockey, women's hockey, and rugby, all with big matchups over the weekend. Men's hockey faces Prince Edward Island on Saturday. Women's ice hockey has Maine, and rugby faces Hartford.
Thanks, Brian. Great job as always, but arguably the unsung hero of Quinnipiac sports is Boomer the Bobcat. He always provides energy, charisma, and passion from the crowd.
Boomer turns 16 on Friday, and we can celebrate his birthday by heading up to the People's United Center as the women's hockey team takes on Maine.
Well, unfortunately, Joel, that is all we have for the newscast tonight. Thanks for watching.
The news doesn't stop here, though. Be sure to check out us on Twitter at Q30 News and at Q30 Television, and the Q30 News team on Facebook at facebook.com/Q30 News. I'm Joel Vanner.
And I'm Jonathan Banks. Good night.